launch conductor in mission control. We pause at this moment in our countdown to remember and honor the lives of each of the participants on the Celestis Memorial Spaceflight. Their presence on this flight signifies a commitment to the opening of the space frontier shared by all of us. We wish the friends and families present today and all those who are with us in spirit all over the world Godspeed, good luck, and our thanks for allowing us to share this very personal time with you today. Elsie out. 5 vehicles armed. 3, 2, 1, fire. Missile away.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Marc B. Lee, and I'm your ambassador for Celestis. I don't understand why our last meeting, our last updates to our families happened to bring the most excitement out of me. I guess probably because we're about to meet you all, and we're excited about all that. This is a very, very important update. So let's make sure that everyone has all their questions ready, because during this broadcast, you are able, if you're in our chat room right now, you are able to type questions, any questions you may have, which is very, very important at this point. Getting so close to our launch, getting so close to your travel to us here in Florida. And we're looking forward to each and every one of you, but let's just make sure we get all of our logistics in line here. So if there's any question that you're going to have, that you're going to place to the Celestis team, and of course to our CEO, Charles Chafer, please do so in this box. Do so on our Facebook page, wherever you can, pick up the phone. Let's make sure that everybody is in line with their travel. So without any further ado, who is going to give us our most updated information on this incredible Ascension flight, which is about to happen, is our CEO, our co-founder, Charles Chafer himself. Charles, how you doing?
I'm good, Marc. How are you?
Oh, I'm excited, bud. I'm excited. We're about to gain a bunch of new friends. People that you may only know by email and telephone, but to actually see their faces, to shake their hands in person is one of the biggest thrill about being a part of this group. So what are we talking about today?
Well, launch fever is catching, I think. We're really going to provide for the final time in this format, meaning Facebook Live and later posted on YouTube, some updated information on our 18th Celestis Memorial Spaceflight, which we call the Ascension Flight. Without further ado, let me say that, well, first let me tell you, it says Celestis 21 on our mission patch, which, by the way, I think this is one of our coolest mission patches.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it.
And 21 is correct. We are going with space shuttle numbering, which, if you remember back in the space shuttle era, they started out with just having each flight sequentially, but then a couple of the shuttles got out of sequence, and so they ended up staying with the numbers, but the launch was different. So this is the 21st mission we have scheduled on the books, but it will fly in 18th position because we got a nice surprise earlier this year. One of the people we've worked with for a long term approached me and said, "Hey, Charlie, do you have any payload to fly in 2 months?" We were busily preparing for launches later in this year, and our next orbital launch, Excelsior, was and still is scheduled for the first quarter of next year. But this one jumped ahead in the queue. And we love it because we want to offer folks routine, regular service to space. And if someone's flying and we've got payload, we want to be flying with it. So, in point of fact, the 18th flight is Celestis 21, named the Ascension Flight. And we're excited about it. It will launch on the SpaceX Transporter 5 launch, which is a series of launches SpaceX has put together to aggregate small satellites on their way to orbit. And in this case, the satellite that we're on is called VeriSat, and it's a high frequency radio test 6U CubeSat mission that's run by our friends at Omnitech. And that satellite, which will be deployed in low Earth orbit, is riding the momentous carrier on board of Falcon 9 for the Transporter 5 mission. There will be a test later, so if you all don't remember that, you might not get the question right. But that mission currently, and I always emphasize the word currently, because we all know that launches can and often do move. And as a result of that, we always use the word currently scheduled. We always caveat that missions can be changed. And everybody needs to be aware of that. But whenever we get inside of a month, which we are now, before flight, the window for change gets closer and closer to closure. So we increasingly have confidence in the time frame that I'll describe tonight. But, you know, rocketry being rocketry, and weather in Florida being weather in Florida, and ship traffic in Florida being ship traffic in Florida, things can move around. So that's really the only time I'll talk about the caveat, and now I'll talk about what our plans are. And again, one indication of our plans maturity is that we have booked our own hotels, we have booked our own airlines, we have booked our own rental cars. We're planning on coming to Florida for a 3-day event. The event begins on May 23rd. With registration, I believe, starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at our headquarters hotel, which is the Cocoa Beach Courtyard Marriott. And then at 6 p.m., we have a reception for all the folks that are flying in who don't know each other and who don't know us, to meet and swap stories, swap discussions of their loved ones' lives, why they're here. It's a really nice, informal social event reception. First activity of the 3 days, May 23rd. Then on May 24th, in the morning, we've held it aside for those of you who've decided that you want to take the tour of the Kennedy Space Center, which is really cool. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend it. And that will be, I believe the buses will leave about 8 or 8:30. All of this will be published from our headquarters hotel. Again, we've chartered a bus that will take you right to the Kennedy Space Center, so you don't have to drive, you don't have to park and walk a long ways. You have the opportunity to tour America's historic spaceport and the place from which the Ascension flight will fly. The afternoon then, and people will spend till about 1 p.m. at KSC, where they'll get on the same bus they went over in and come back to the Courtyard Marriott, where at 3 o'clock, we will have our memorial service and pre-launch briefing. And what I mean by our memorial service, if you've not been to a Celestis mission or you've not watched any of our videos on our YouTube channel, this is the opportunity for a shared memory of your loved one who will be flying into space the next day. It's very poignant. Everyone is invited to represent their passenger, their participant, speak at the memorial service. And we also will bring in some music. We always have the Amazing Grace bagpiper. That's a very popular element of our memorial service. Some musical interludes provided by local Florida musicians. And we'll also have our astronaut guest speak to you. In this case, Don Thomas, also known as the Ohio astronaut, will be joining us. Again, it's tradition for us to always bring in an astronaut guest to our events. They're amazing people and they have great stories to tell about their time in space. B, it's really good opportunity for you to reflect about what your loved one is about to vicariously experience when it comes straight from a person who's flown, in Don's case, multiple missions on the space shuttle. And what is it like to be in space? What are the views? What's the overview effect? All of those kinds of things. And it's always one of the most special parts of our 3-day event. And of course, he'll be there to meet you and answer personal questions. And just in general, you get an opportunity to be with someone who has achieved that major goal of being spaceborne. I'll finish up the afternoon with the pre-launch briefing, literally the day before the flight, updating any news, telling you what to expect, what not to expect, and just in general trying to pave the way for an enjoyable and fulfilling flight experience, which will occur currently scheduled for 2:30 p.m. on May 25th. So about roughly noon, we will again board a charter bus, so you don't have to fight traffic, you don't have to look for a parking place, etc., which will take you directly to our privately reserved launch viewing area. And I have to say, we have the best viewing area for KSC that we've ever had, or KSC for Cape Canaveral that we've ever had. We'll be viewing the launch from Launch Complex 40 with a direct line of sight view of the rocket on the pad from the Sands Air Force Aviation Museum, which is located right outside of the gate to Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and right next to the SpaceX Mission Control facility. So when you see those videos and photos of SpaceX employees, including Elon Musk, walking out to their parking lot to watch the launch or the landing, that's where we'll be. Not with the SpaceX employees, but right in that same location. It's really an amazing sight. We're so pleased to be able to offer it to our family members and friends who will be journeying to Florida to participate in this mission. There is one, and of course, the liftoff is what everybody comes for. But there is one additional element for this launch that's planned. And again, everything in space is planned until it occurred. And that is, we're going to have a wonderful view of the first stage of the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket coming back home and landing just right next to us almost. Not quite, but it'll feel like that. And so the opportunity to view both a launch and a landing from this viewing site is something we're really excited about. We're so happy to be able to bring that to you as an Ascension Flight family participant. And after that, we get on the charter bus and head back to the hotel in Cocoa Beach and wish everyone bon voyage and get ready to tee it up for our next mission later on this year. But that's sort of the outline of the 3 days of events. Key elements are, one, the only way you can access the facilities that we're providing, you can't drive there on your own. You literally have to register and go with us for a wide variety of reasons. But that's actually, I would assume you prefer to do that because, again, trying to find a spot on the beach or a parking space to walk to your spot on the beach can be done. And we have family members and friends who watch it from the beach. But if you want what we consider to be the best available view for our group, you'll want to be with us for that mission. And the 3 days of events, I think I know you will find is the best way to really experience the flight of your loved one. So, Marc, I'll stop there for a moment and see if you can think of anything I missed on this mission or any questions that we need to respond to. I've already got one.
Yes, you do have a couple
The
here.
memorial service and the launch will be able to be viewed live on our website, celestis.com, in the event that you're not able or interested in traveling to Florida for this mission. So as we always do, we have clients all over the world. It's harder to get to Florida from Oslo than it is from Tulsa. So not everyone is able to come to our missions. And we always provide at least those two events, the memorial service and the launch. In this case, it'll be the landing too,
Right.
as part of our webcast.
Right.
I do
And
see.
if I can, I'm sorry, Charles, go ahead.
I see some of these questions coming up. I wanted to say this anyway.
Uh-huh.
The question was how many folks on board on this flight, and the answer is 46.
Okay. 46. What I wanted to point out is with our broadcast that we do on our Celestis page, I think it's really a gracious gift that you can actually give to not just the family, but the friends of our passengers to pass on, to let them know that someone you may have formerly worked with, someone who may have been your neighbor, might actually want to have the honor of knowing that someone that they themselves knew is going to be a part of this mission. So if you could pass on our Celestis website name, celestis.com, go there and give them an idea of the time when we're supposed to launch. In fact, it's really interesting. My coworkers, I see every launch from my front door, living in Florida and the northern, in the Orlando area. But my boss and my coworkers will actually be out on the sidewalk out in front of my office to watch this launch during that day. So it'd be nice if you could pass along to any friends or any neighbors of the passengers of this flight that, hey, watch the launch. Just tune into this website on that day and watch launch. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So I see a couple of other questions.
Uh-huh.
One is, are the live webcasts saved to view it later? The answer is yes. We have a YouTube channel, and not only do we save the webcast, but we also create what we call the family video, which is a downloadable video that is professionally produced it captures 3 days of activities in about a 20-minute video. So that also, sorry, a lot of allergies here in Houston today.
That's
Um,
quite right.
So all of that is on our YouTube channel. And just go to YouTube and type in Celestis or Celestis Memorial Space Flights, and you'll see the previous ones, and that will be the home for this mission's webcast. I see a question from
You see the
Jennifer.
one from Jennifer? Yeah.
So hopefully one of my staff members will look that up and see, Jennifer, if your mom is, we have 2 orbital missions coming up. The first one is this one, the Ascension Flight, May 25. The second one is the Excelsior Flight, first quarter of next year. Oh, your mother's on the Enterprise flight, which is a deep space mission, not an orbital flight. This one goes 300 million miles into the solar system.
Wow.
It's scheduled to launch. The official word from ULA, the provider of the launch, is later this year. And really what that means is fourth quarter of this year, Enterprise is scheduled to fly. Interestingly enough, on the same rocket that flies the Enterprise flight, which is a Voyager class mission for us, we'll have our second lunar mission. So we're going to the moon and then to deep space with the Tranquility flight. So Enterprise and Tranquility are scheduled for fourth quarter of this year, also from Florida. And unlike Ascension, where we have 45 folks on board, we'll have a minimum of 150 on the Enterprise flight. And I believe our number on the Tranquility flight is right at around 70 folks. So that'll be a big mission taking off from Cape Canaveral later this year. What does fourth quarter mean? It means sometime, don't know which month. It means September or October, November, or December. Let me explain to you what we say about launch schedules. What we say about launch schedules is exactly, precisely, and completely the information that our launch provider releases about their schedule. So as soon as they set the exact date and time, we'll have it, and we will, since your mom is on Enterprise, you'll get an email that announces what that date is. It is not currently officially set. So in the realm of rocket scheduling, the first thing you do is, well, it'll probably be this year. And then the next thing you do is, well, it'll probably be this quarter of this year. And the next thing you do is, here's our target date, which could move, but this is our planning date. And then you get the final date, and then you fly. So schedules in rocketry are not like schedules on other things. We've had a client ask us the other day if we could just postpone the launch for a couple days because her son couldn't make it. And the answer is no, we can't do that. And we say that in our contracts, we say that in our communications. We fly as a secondary payload, which means that we have absolutely no say in the launch schedule. And launch schedules are complicated. Whole lot of things got to come together. The rocket's got to be ready. The payload's got to be ready. The range has to be ready. And all of those things come together in a scheduling exercise that would make the NFL draft look simple.
Yes.
Um,
Jennifer is in great appreciation of the information that we provided her. If anyone else have any questions in terms of where your loved one is inserted on what date, give us a call.
And yeah, please, we're 24/7 usually around here. So a couple more questions. Richard
Yes.
said the launch window, it's what's called an instantaneous launch window, which means if it don't fly at 2:30, it don't fly. So there is no window. There is a time of launch. Why do they do that? Has to do with what the payloads require in terms of their orbital parameters when they cross the equator on their polar orbit. All of this stuff is figured out well in advance. Sometimes there are windows that are a couple hours. No big deal. We can fly anytime within that 2 hours. Whenever you see, and this launch is not going to the space station, but when you see space station launches, when they're supplying the space station, they also have instantaneous launch windows because they got to launch them in time to catch up with the station so they can dock with it without expending so much fuel that it's not worthwhile. So
Right.
we have as I understand it, an instantaneous launch window on May 25. And Jennifer, yes, you may volunteer to speak for the Enterprise flight, and we will keep you up to date on, again, it will be 3 days of activities, just like we're doing for Ascension. And when usually the second day is the memorial service, and we would be honored to have you speak on behalf of your mother.
Okay. And launch window for our flight, for the Ascension flight on the 25th, is in fact begins at 2:30. Charles, is that safe to say in terms of begins at 2:30?
No, that's what I was saying. It is 2:30.
Yep.
It's instantaneous. If we
Okay.
don't fly at 2:30, we miss that
We missed
day
our window.
opportunity.
Yeah.
We have to go
Sure.
to another one.
Okay. Let's see. Jennifer is thanking us again. Thank you, Jennifer. Very appreciative. We appreciate you. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, and looking forward to your speech or your talk about your loved one for the Enterprise flight. Where are we now? Will the satellite be seen by the naked eye from Earth?
So we
Now,
have a couple of questions from Ralph.
okay, yeah.
No, won't be able to see the spacecraft naked eye. It's small and it's not painted to be bright. They used to paint them to be bright so you could see them, but then the astronomy community got really upset about all of the bright lights in the sky while they were looking at space for stars. And now best practice is we can't see it. Now, how can you monitor the satellite after it?
Good question. Good question.
Boy, have we got a great answer for you.
Yes,
You
yes,
come to
yes,
our
we do.
website and click on the button that says live tracking, and you go to your flight, which will be the Ascension flight, and you'll see real time the track of the spacecraft. And it's
Right.
very cool. So, you'll know Dad's coming over and he'll be overhead in 5 minutes. So we have great tracking software installed on our website. If you go there now, you can click and you can see we currently have 4 spacecraft in orbit. You can watch each one of them where they are real time. And I guess I can go ahead and reveal that I sit around and watch my spacecraft in orbit periodically. It's very cool.
Yeah, but don't you have a monitor on the wall in your
Yeah,
office where
yeah.
you can literally just spin around and say, "Oh, there goes Ascension. Oh,
My
there goes."
own, yeah.
Yeah,
We have our own private
on
mission
mission
control.
control.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. But yeah, Ralph, hopefully that answers your question on how it can be viewed. Well, we have the capabilities. Just come to our website. In fact, visit our website often. Get familiar with it. There are a lot of things on there that you should just read, just for your own entertainment purposes. But of course, it's practical as well, especially during our launch days and after our launch days. So head up with us on that. What does Miriam say here? When
Well,
do we need to?
let's go to Glenda, who is first.
Glenda? Oh yeah, I see her up top. Sorry, it
That's
keeps
all right.
spinning on me. My son is on Excelsior Flight 2023 and having sea scattering as well. Sea scattering as well. She's going to explain that to me. Is that a non-group private affair?
So
Explain that.
the Excelsior Flight launches the flight capsule with your son's portion of ashes into orbit. We take, because we always ask for more remains than we're going to fly, and the reason we do that is so that in the very unlikely event that the launch doesn't reach orbit, we're able to fly again at no cost, and we don't have to put anybody through the trouble of finding the ashes, or they may have scattered them already. So we always scatter the unflown balance of ashes for people near the launch site. In this case, we fly them on a scattering service that scatters the ashes over the Banana River, which is the closest that we can legally scatter ashes to Kennedy Space Center. That occurs after the mission, well after the mission. It is a non-group private affair because it's a pilot in an airplane that provides that service. But he certifies that he's done it. We'll send you a certificate afterwards from the sea scattering service.
I am so ashamed I did not know this. My deepest apologies, Glenda. I should have known this, and because as long as I've been with the company, I did not know, or this had not occurred. So I've been educated.
Now these comments are flying fast here, or questions.
Yes, they are. You want to get Miriam's next?
Yeah, Miriam Hilton asks, when do we need to book our rooms by to get the block price? That's a good question, and I don't have that specific answer. The sooner the better, and I believe it's more, the question should be, have you run out of the rooms that you've blocked yet?
Right. Yeah.
And the only way to find that out is to call us tomorrow during business hours, or to call the Cocoa Beach Courtyard Marriott. Now, there's a bunch of hotels. There's a one right next door to the Courtyard Marriott. So not to worry, but to get the block price and to be at the headquarters hotel from where all things leave, you want to try to be at the Courtyard. And I recommend that you do it really soon if you can, because I know lots of people are already booked into the Courtyard. If you have any difficulties, get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with our travel agency that is working with us in Florida, and we'll make sure you get accommodated. But the block rooms, as we've announced, are basically first come, first serve.
Yes. So Miriam, call us tomorrow, please, so we can make sure that you're accommodated.
So now I need to go back and readdress Glenda's question. She actually purchased the option to scatter the entire balance of the remains. So it won't just be a portion of her son's remains, it will be the entire balance that are scattered there on the Banana River, as near as we can get to the Kennedy Space Center launch site.
Yeah, that's still brilliant though. So that's great.
So I'm going to skip Richard on the what will people see on the KSC tour for just a moment. Go back to Ralph, who
wants
asked
to know
about reentry. And the answer is we can predict it, and we do whenever we almost always are able to let you guys know the reentry time of the spacecraft, and we almost always are able to notify that in advance.
Can I question something on that as well to you, Charles? Are we logged into SpaceX's mission control either at the site? Can we hear it audibly while we're at the site? Can we see it if we log on to their YouTube channel?
What we recommend, they do for most of their launches, they do a 15-minute in advance webcast. Okay. And anybody with a cell phone can
Yeah.
pick that up
Yep.
and listen to it in advance. And you'll see when you're there, everybody's got their cell phone out. So the countdown is going in unison there. So it's easy to pick that up. They make it very available, and we're thankful that we can do that.
Okay.
All right.
Adrian has a cool question here.
So the short answer is not satisfactory to you. It depends.
Yes. And the question, by the way, for people who can't read the question in our chat room and only watching us is, if by chance we missed the launch window on the 25th, how long can we expect to wait? 1 day, 2 days? Question mark.
So here are all the factors that go into play. I will answer by saying it is often only 1 or 2 day delay. And by the way, we haven't had a launch delay. Knock on wood, we haven't had a launch delay, I think, in a decade. So, but having said that, SpaceX mission was recently delayed because there was a ship leaving the Canaveral port that nobody knew was leaving, and that shut down the entire range, and they had to recycle, and I think they did fly that one the next day. If it is weather that causes the launch delay, then it will be weather that dictates when they can fly again. That makes perfect sense. If it's a technical problem with either the launch vehicle or the satellite that is being launched, then they got to fix that. Again, you can't really tell. We've only had one delay in our history that was more than a single day, and we've done 17 of these so far. But I don't want to, this is not Charlie guaranteeing you that it's a 1 day delay. It's right. Charlie telling you the odds are pretty good that if it's a simple weather issue, a range issue, or even a last minute hold that wasn't a problem, but that took them beyond the launch window, they're going to delay the launch, and then they're going to tell us when the next launch attempt will be. It's a busy range these days. They try to get everything flown timely. To me, it's just amazing to watch that. I believe SpaceX had 6 launches in the month of April. That's more than once a week. So it's a really strong cadence of launches down there. So I can't be definitive. If I was definitive, I would be disingenuous, and I won't be disingenuous.
Right. We're being honest here, and we hope people do understand that we do not control the operations of the rocket at all. We are passengers. Okay, we're not driving this Uber.
Okay? I will say there's a lot of cool stuff to do. There's worse places in the world that have to spend an extra day or two than Florida. They have these things called beaches, theme parks, great seafood. And if you go to our mission page on our website, so if you go to Celestis.com and then you click on the Ascension Flight page, you'll be taken to a blog that we've written about all the other things that are there to do in Florida and at Cape Canaveral, including helicopter pilot or trips that you can take where you can see all of the Space Center from the air.
Yeah.
My personal favorite is going to see the alligators. We don't have enough of those here in Houston. We got to go visit Florida alligators. But there's a lot of, we've always tell folks that don't make non-changeable plans, don't buy non-refundable tickets. Just know you're going to be there for the adventure of a lifetime, and roll with it and enjoy it. And we managed to do that.
There's many worse places to be stranded in for for a couple of days, but in Florida ain't one of them.
Let's see. Thank you from the Neptune Society of Vegas. Good to have you check in with us. And welcome and appreciate the good wishes.
Hello,
Mr.
Michaela. Good to meet
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and Mr. Ziegler, guest posted some questions earlier. Can you? I can scroll back
Yeah,
up.
I am doing that as we speak.
I don't see a question. I see a hello. We
Yeah, I
talked to
saw.
somebody and mentioning his song "Bury Me on the Moon," which we've listened
Well,
to.
here's an
Ah,
off the
will
cuff one. Yeah,
Elon
I found.
be there?
Yeah, that's the one I found.
Who knows? He doesn't check his schedule with me, so
Yeah,
I
will Elon be there?
can't tell you.
Yeah, we can't tell you too, but I like a new car. Just if I see him. I'm not sure what he's talking about concerning his song. Do you know anything about his?
Yeah. They Chuck Tenen created a song "Bury Me on the Moon," which I believe he's planning on flying, maybe on one of our lunar missions one day.
Ah, how appropriate. Yeah, yeah, that's good.
So let's see. No, we haven't had Governor DeSantis. Um,
Well, let's.
and
I think once again, guys, this is our update on the Ascension Flight here with Celestis.com. Any
let me take a
questions?
minute,
Go
Mark,
ahead.
if
Go
I
ahead.
may. Let me quickly outline the other missions we have coming up because
Perfect.
we've already talked about a couple of them. So, Ascension is May 25. Aurora, which is our Earthrise service, which flies the ashes into space, brings them back as a flown keepsake item. Those fly out of Spaceport America in New Mexico,
Mhm.
my soon to be home state. And that mission is scheduled for August of this year. No exact date yet. But Aurora will be in August from Spaceport America in New Mexico. And we have lots of folks already signed up for that mission. Next in the queue is the combination of Tranquility and Enterprise, our second lunar mission and our first deep space mission, which is scheduled for the fourth quarter this year. It will fly on the Vulcan rocket. How's that for
How
flying
appropriate. Yeah,
Gene and Major Roddenberry and
it's,
Rod
it's awesome.
Roddenberry and Jimmy Doohan and
Ah,
Star Trek fans from around the world? They all get to go to space on a Vulcan rocket.
yeah, that is you couldn't have picked a better
I
better flight,
had the
better
pleasure of
name.
meeting Tori Bruno, who's the chief of ULA in Colorado, just a few weeks ago. We chatted.
Yeah.
I asked him, why'd you name it Vulcan? And he said, we did a crowdsource on the
No.
name of our new rocket, and Vulcan got 1 million votes.
Wow.
So it won.
That's unbelievable.
So
Wow.
that'll be an amazing mission.
Wow.
And with two of our payloads on board, the biggest thing we've ever done, and we're looking forward to that fourth
Looking
quarter.
forward to that one without a doubt. Yes.
Then
Yes.
our next mission after that is the Excelsior Flight,
Okay.
another Earth orbital mission like the one that we're about to do, and it's scheduled for Q1. There's that quarter again
Yeah.
of 2023. So if you're counting, and I am, we have 5 missions in less than 14 months ahead of us,
Right.
which is a pace and a cadence that we haven't met before, but we've staffed up and we're ready to service all those missions and really looking forward to it.
Yeah. There's a
Ralph,
lot of I'm sorry, were you finished with the
I was finished with that's the update. Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot of sentimental comments. I really appreciate the thanks from you guys. But here's a question from Ralph. He says, my father has family in the Cape area. Will they be allowed to join us for the launch viewing?
Yes, they are encouraged to join us. As I say, you need to go and register with us because the transportation, we have to plan for that. We have to know how many people we're taking, and registration is required to go to our launch viewing facility. And so just encourage your father's family in the Cape area to go online with us and register for the mission. Again, nice, great to hear from everybody. And Jennifer Levin says she wished she had one more second to tell her mom all about this. Thank you. We know how meaningful the service that we provide is. We are honored that you all trust us, and let us provide you with a compelling and fulfilling experience. And I wish you could tell your mom. Part of me believes that she's probably already knows about it, and she's going to have a better view than we do.
Yes.
When it comes time to fly.
Agreed. Thank you, Jennifer. Can't wait to meet you. So thank you so much for that. Once again, any other questions, you guys? You might want to try and get them in now. If we've covered everything, which is always something that we've missed, and we'll bring up in our future emails. Are there any more emails that are coming out between now? We have exactly 22 days before launch.
Good question.
Any more updates?
First, let me just tell James we appreciate the compliment, and no, we didn't know that the song was written for Elon, and I don't think he wants to be buried on the moon. I think he wants to go to Mars, but I'm not speaking for the man. He does a good job on his own. Yeah, we will continuously communicate with our families. We do it in a number of ways. You'd be amazed how we do this. Typically, so let me walk you through the drill. Whenever we have a launch date update, the very first place we post that is on our main website, celestis.com, on the Ascension Flight page. So whatever date is on that page is the best knowledge that we have. We expect that we will have more information to share with our families who are attending. And we're currently planning at least one more email communication with them in the next 10 days or so to just bring everybody up to date on any final information that we may have. Should the need arise, we will send you a dedicated email, and we will watch whether you open it or not. And if you didn't open it the first time, we will send it to you the second time. And if you didn't open it the second time, we will send it to you the third time. And if you didn't open it the third time, we will call you to update you. Now, this is just for family members, or what we call primary contacts in our language. But we will be sure that we have made every effort humanly possible to update you with launch-related information. So that said, you can always call. We've got good expertise here, and we will take your call and answer your question all the way up to T0, which is space talk for launch. Joe, appreciate your appreciation. Joe writes, all updates you guys send are greatly appreciated. And thank you. We really take our requirement to communicate with folks very seriously.
Yeah, he's also echoing the question that I asked about any more live formats prior to the launch. Not
unless we feel like there's something that warrants it. Right now, we're in cruise control. Cruise control doesn't necessarily mean it all goes forward and there aren't any hiccups and there aren't any communication. But we don't want to waste people's time. And I know you don't think it's a waste of time, and appreciate that. And if we feel like it's important to get another live communication out to people, we will do it. But in the interim, we will also make sure that everybody who is registered to come, or everyone who has a loved one on board, we have communicated the latest information to you. So hopefully that will be sufficient. And it'd be nice if this was just a smooth countdown to launch. And
Yeah.
we've been known to have those pretty regularly. So I'm hopeful.
I think if there is another update, like Charles had already said, you will know practically immediately, for you guys to either view us here online or for you to go to your emails right away, and keep checking until we see you here in person in Florida. But please, don't erase us, don't cancel us out, don't delete us, whatever you
Don't
do.
unsubscribe.
Say again?
Don't unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe. Please stay with us until you know it's basically safe. And even then, you want to keep track of your loved ones while they're in orbit. So there really isn't any reason for a very, very long time to unsubscribe to us, because we are your source of literally celestial contact with your loved ones as they venture overhead. So it's very, very important that you stay with us, okay?
Here comes an important note, which we probably haven't mentioned yet. This is
Okay.
why we have competent people working with us.
Yes,
There
please.
is an Ascension Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook, go to the address that you see on your screen now, and you can be part of the Ascension Facebook group, which will be there forever. You'll be a member of that group forever.
Right.
All right, got a couple more from Ralph, but first I wanted to say again, thank you, Jennifer. We appreciate the compliments on our mission. We're sorry that you lost your mom, and we're really happy that we can help to fulfill her dream.
Agreed.
It really does mean a lot to us. Ralph
Agreed.
wants to know if they want people who are interested in the launch, do they need to register to view the launch, I believe, on our website? And the answer is, I don't believe you do. I believe that it's just posted and you click on it. There is not a specific registration required. And
Okay.
if I'm wrong, one of my staff members will let me know. But I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong about that. It's live on Celestis.com, and it's in a pretty obvious location. So
yes, Ralph, anybody and everybody has access to our launches, even the recordings afterwards as well. Right. So you can see it when you want to see it.
Right, exactly. And because we have clients from all over the world, people are watching it at all times also.
Yes. Agreed. If I can make note of that, our last launch, or one of our last launches that we did, we had 2 Japanese attendees who was actually representing, am I saying 15 individuals, Charles, was on that flight?
I think it was 15 or 20, Mark. It was, we have a good following in Japan. We have a good distributor partner in Japan, and we've flown lots of Japanese folks on our missions. And happy to host them when they make the big flight. Also happy that they're watching it live from their homes.
Agreed. Ralph, your dad was a Trekkie. I'm surprised he's not on our Enterprise flight, but that's awesome, dude. Nice to know. Let's see. Once again, is that one? We're about 6 minutes out, Charles. So if anybody has any really quick questions they want to get in now, do it now. But that's not the end of our answers, because we continue on our Facebook page, through telephone calls, through email. We are not untouchable. So you can contact us at any time with any questions, with any answers that you have not heard here. So do so then. I don't really see anything else, but other than that, guys, you got about 20, what's today, 22nd? 21 days? Am I right on that? No, 24, no, 22. I can't do math.
20,
23.
Yeah. One of those.
Yeah, one of those. I can't pull my toes up. So,
Good thing you're not in charge of trajectory analysis for us.
oh, you know, just give me a bright star to aim for, buddy. I'll hit it.
There you go.
What do we got coming in? Oh, Tara. Okay. Hi, Tara, and you're welcome. She says thank you as well. So,
well, these are the events that I like. Of all, we do these usually every month.
Yeah.
Facebook Live events, and my favorite ones are always the, hey, we're getting ready to do a launch. Ones. You can sense from the inquiries that we're getting that people are getting ready for it. They're getting excited. They're understanding just how special the event that we're going to put on for them is. And that's when will family members be able to view the live cast?
Yeah, this one. When are we?
When it's live, 2:30 on May 25th. That would be Eastern time, and 3 o'clock on May 24th. That would be Eastern time also.
Yeah, and Ralph, if you're referring to what you're watching right now, it's live on our YouTube channel as we speak, and it stays there after we've ended. So you just go to that link, go to our Celestis.com, Celestis Memorial Spaceflight YouTube channel, and view some of our past broadcasts as well to update you a little bit. But that's for what we're doing right now. And as for on site, I think we've already.
Well, we've got a couple. Let me take Jennifer's question. When we know about the Enterprise flight, when did we know about Ascension? It was about a month beforehand. So I would say probably you'll get at least 30 days notice. And I say that at least. I suspect there will be a target date sooner than 30 days before it flies. But I also, the bright.
Yeah, the sun's going down on you, but
bright
you're fine.
Western sun is
I noticed it.
But within 30 days is when we start being really serious about it and working toward the launch date. So we will keep you informed. Your only obligation is come to our website periodically and just look at Enterprise schedule. And if it changes, that means you probably caught it on the day we changed it, because there'll be an email following it very shortly thereafter. So leave the latter part of this year, the latter part of this year, have some flexibility to be able to come to the launch during that period. Again, we're not close enough for me to even give you I think we'll know on this date. We will get there. Here's the thing about missions. Every one of them we've had always flies, right? So it's just a matter of when it flies. And while we do all the things we need to do to be ready, we then hand over our payload to the guys that actually make the decision when it flies. And you know what? They don't call us in advance and ask, when would you like it to fly? And that's part of why this service is so affordable. These rockets, just to remind everybody, they're 100 billion or 100 million to a few $billion each. And we can't afford to buy an entire rocket and then tell them you're going to launch on this date.
Right.
Just doesn't work. Can't do
Yeah.
it. But what we can do is purchase available space, smile, and say, we're ready to go now. Just let us know when it's scheduled, and we'll let our folks know and keep them informed. And that's been the way we've been doing it for 27 years
Wow.
so far. Holy cats, huh? And,
yeah, well, we're pros at what we do now, you know, after
no doubt about
27
that.
years. Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Hey, and if I could add one last thing here to the families or the family members that are headed to us in Florida here for this incredible event. We understand that, you know, a lot of you may still be in mourning. Some of you may, you know, mourn enough or whatever you feel. This is a celebration. When you come to us for this 3-day event, you will have such an incredible experience. You get to meet me, you get to meet Charles, you get to make so many friends, and the event in itself, the memorial services in itself, is a celebration. And you will hear some wonderful words, some incredible words, and to be surrounded at Cape Canaveral, just to have that environment in your midst is once in a lifetime, something to behold. You will not forget this experience. So we welcome you. We can't wait to see you. And I'm looking forward to shaking all of your hands if you don't mind.
Well,
That's it for me, sir.
I can't say it any better. So I think we'll wish everyone a good evening. Thank you for logging on. Thank you for your questions. As Marc has said, we haven't stopped answering them just because we're not live anymore. You know how to reach us, and we'll respond immediately. So thanks very much. Thanks for hosting again, Marc.
Anytime for you, boss. Good night to you, Charles. Good night to everyone. Thank you. We'll see you soon, hopefully in person. Good night.
This is the launch conductor in Mission Control. We pause at this moment in our countdown to remember and honor the lives of each of the participants on the Celestis Memorial Spaceflight. Their presence on this flight signifies a commitment to the opening of the space frontier shared by all of us. We wish the friends and families present today and all those who are with us in spirit all over the world Godspeed, good luck, and our thanks for allowing us to share this very personal time with you today. Elsie out. 5 vehicles armed. 3, 2, 1, fire.